welcome to Happy Hour with Haley. I am Haley Chura, fresh off a trail run, and I'm joined this week by Jocelyn Wong Neill. Jocelyn, this is the podcast that almost didn't happen, but because you're here, it's happening.
It's really just our I don't know, semi-monthly catch up at this point.
I do appreciate that. I did not hold up my end of the bargain. We were going to podcast last week about Mary Cain's book as like a virtual book club, which her book is called This Is Not About Running. I believe I have started it. I have
Yes.
not finished it. I need a little more time. We are hopefully going to do that next week with a special guest who also has read the book. I'm the one who hasn't read it. I'm the holdup here, so
Wait,
I
where are you
apologize.
in the book? Are you in middle school? Are you
She's in high school.
in
So, no, I'm early on. But in my defense, in my retirement from professional triathlon, I thought I would be reading so much. That is how I envisioned my life. When I retired, I was like, I'm going to read more books because I'm not so stressed. I'm not so anxious. That has not been how life has gone. I have not read the books I wanted to read. But even last week, I
Mhm.
went to a book club meeting and like in person, and I had not read a single page of the book. And I just still went because I really wanted the pizza. Like there was pizza involved and I needed the social time. And I was like, I'm just going to go. And so I did. And it was actually fine. Like it was fine.
Mhm.
But we have a book for July. The book we're reading for July is Strangers, which is another like Bell Burden, like very popular book club book, I think. And what I did for this one actually was I downloaded the audiobook. And
Okay.
so I have gone on 2 runs. I'm almost done with the audiobook.
Oh, wow.
So in 2 runs. And I was like, maybe this is a better method for me right now in my life. Rather than asking me to sit down and read a book, I was just listen to it. I'll reserve my thoughts on that book, but I think for July, I will be able to contribute in book club, and that's very exciting. I should have probably done this with the Mary Cain book rather than read the, like, 100 pages I have read,
It's
but
kinda like listening to podcasts. I think I got into podcasts when I was starting to train for ultra marathons.
okay, because it is sometimes nice to have someone talk to you. I will admit, sometimes I zone out a little, so listening to an audiobook while running is a little bit hard for me because I kind of will be like, "Wait, what just happened?"
Uh-huh.
And it's a little hard to just, like, back up a little bit, or you, like, go and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I think I've gone for 20 minutes and I have no idea what happened." But this kind of book, it's, like, nonfiction and
Okay.
memoir-esque, and so and to be honest, I'm not, like, super invested in this woman's story, so I'm fine missing a few details. I've never written a book. I shouldn't criticize anyone, and I'm sure if I ever did read a book, it would be bargain. Not New York Times bestseller, but anyway, how have you read anything good lately other than Mary Cain's book that we have not
Oh my
discussed?
gosh. Um, so I finally saw that movie, is it The Swimmers with the Mardini sisters?
Yes,
Yeah, because I
on
was like, I need
Netflix.
to. Uh-huh,
Yusra
I had
Mardini.
to.
So this is the Syrian
Mhm.
refugees who went from Turkey to Greece, and they did make a Netflix, and then on ultimately onto Germany, and then ultimately onto the Olympics. So, what did
Yes.
you think of the movie?
It was really cool. It was, because now I think it's like the 3rd swimming movie I saw. What was the first one was the one with the older lady who swam
Diana
from
Nyad?
Cuba. Yeah, Naiad,
Yes, that
which
one was good.
it was good, but she was so unlikable, which I think is like real life.
But but her friend Bonnie, I feel like who was played by that was like Jodie Foster and
Uh-huh,
Annette
uh-huh.
Bening, right? Who were the actresses
Yes,
who played
yes,
them, and Jodie Foster's character, Bonnie, was, like, very likable. She had a likable
yes.
friend. Maybe that's the key to life. You don't need to be the likable person, you just need a
As
likable
long as
friend.
you're
That's why you're here.
which one of us is likable and which one's not?
You're by far Jocelyn, there's no question. You are by far more likable.
So,
Okay,
okay,
so
moving
we're
on. So,
watching movies about swimming. Naiad, not your favorite.
I really loved, was it the one with Daisy Ridley. Um, is it The Girl in the Sea?
I never saw that one.
Oh, that one's really good too.
Is
The
that
one
also on
about
Netflix?
I think so. It's where she's the first woman that swims across the English Channel.
Missed this one. Wow, I've missed so
Yes.
much since I, like, stopped spending hours a day on the trainer. So I
Okay,
that has, like
I think it's called The Young Woman and the Sea, but
okay.
Daisy Ridley played Rey in the Star Wars, like, prequel trilogy, and so
Uh-huh.
I already was a fan of her, but having her as, like, an open water swimmer, I, like, enjoyed it even more, so much that I was like, "Oh, I wanna read more about her," so then I found her book. The book was not as exciting
You like the
as the
movie better.
movie. I like the movie better. And then I just saw The Swimmers about the Mardini sisters, really loved it. And then I was like, "Oh, like, I wanna learn more." So anytime I, like, watch a movie that is, like, based on real life, I'll be like, "Let me Google this person, let me learn more." And so she has a book too, so I have the book that I just started, and it's pretty
Okay.
amazing. Do you have it?
Yeah, it's right here. Let me grab it.
Yes.
You are referring to Butterfly by Yusra Mar Look at this. Like, as someone who doesn't read, it is shocking how often someone can say a book, and then I'm like, "Let me pick it out from behind me." I did actually read this book. You know, I interviewed Yusra for Iron Women. I did
You
interview
did?
her. Alyssa and I interviewed her. Yes, she
What?
came on the show. Wait, how did you miss that one? You
I
gotta go back and
probably did
listen.
listen to it because I listened to all the episodes, but it was so long ago.
Probably 2019, I think. It was a while ago. It was before
Wow.
the movie. It was before the
Okay.
movie. It was probably one of the, I feel like, most impactful interviews of that era of my
Mhm.
life, of interviewing a lot of professional athletes. I think it really reading her book and then also talking to her definitely gave me a better perspective of refugees, and there were parts of her
Yeah.
book that I thought were so fascinating because she grew up swimming and a lot of her and she had a sister who grew up swimming, and a lot of
Yeah.
that just reminded me of me. Like, I grew up swimming and I had a
Uh-huh.
sister who grew up swimming, and I think that that was really good for me to read. It was very, very good for me to read. So I'm glad you're reading it. Are you done? Have you read the whole book?
No, so I'm just at the part where they're starting to, like they have decided the dad is letting them, like, leave the country. But I was so you know how with movies, you're never sure if it's, like, really dramatized, but then I'm,
Yeah.
like, reading the book and there's actually, like, bombs falling everywhere, and it's so dangerous, and then there's a scene in the movie where there's, like, a bomb that, like, goes into the swimming pool, and it actually
Yes.
happens in the book, like, not while she's doing a time trial or a race, but while they're having a practice, and I was just like, "Oh, geez. Like, this was
I
for real." It's
I've
scary.
never watched the movie. Honestly,
Okay.
because the book was so intense, I was like,
Yeah.
I haven't been in a place since that movie came out where I was like, okay to watch it, I think. I just haven't been mentally in a place where I think I could handle that. But yeah, that part where the bomb falls in the pool, like, haunts me forever. Like, that was
Yeah.
oh, it's terrifying, and I probably should watch the movie 'cause I hear good things, but it's good. I admire you as a person who can, like, watch movies and read the book and have, like, mostly positive opinions about both, or, objectively even think the movie was better. Because I feel like I'm usually someone who if I do one or the other, I don't like the other one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think with the one about the English Channel swimmer, the book was really dry, and I don't think it was completely based on the book. It was based on
Okay.
the woman whose name is escaping me, but but the
Well,
movie
I'll have
was
to look that one
fantastic.
up. I'll look that up.
Okay.
Okay, this is happy hour, and I did bring a drink. I brought my fancy glass, and I hear we are doing non-alcoholic today.
Yes,
Um, so I brought an Olipop, a cream soda Olipop. My favorite non-alcoholic beverage,
I
but in a
brought
fancy glass.
do you remember Clearly Canadian?
Where did you get that?
My gosh, so I feel like this was super popular, like, what, in the '80s, '90s?
Yeah, I feel like,
Clearly
yeah, in the
Canadian, which, like,
90s.
comes in a glass. At some point, it popped up in my grocery store, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have such great childhood memories of this," because it's like it's a sparkling water with actual real sugar in it, and I can't stand, like, stuff that has fake sugar or, like,
Like
I try to get
Olipop
into
with stevia?
seltzer. Yeah, yes, seltzer water that's
This
just, like, has a hint of, like, fruit juice, and I'm like,
You
I
don't like
like a s
seltzer water.
it's, like, not sugary enough, but then I find, like, actual soda is too sugary, so this is kind of, like, in the middle.
Wow, does it feel nostalgic? Do you feel like a kid
It is
again?
nostalgic. They also come in cans, but the glass is better.
It kind of is the original seltzer, right? Like, before
Yes.
we had LaCroix and Spindrift and a million different brands, Polar, of seltzer, we had Clearly Canadian. So,
Clearly
cheers to you.
Canadian. Cheers, and so today is not just Father's Day, but my husband Kevin is 10 years sober, and so I figured since it's his sober anniversary, I will not drink today. We
Very
did at
appropriate.
we had a talk at one point where it was like, "Do you want me to quit drinking too? Because I will for you," but, like, thinking hopefully he says no, say no, say no. But we don't actually drink this we didn't like the same kinds of alcohol anyway. He was more just like a Miller Lite kind of guy, and I like my IPAs and craft beers and, like, girly drinks, so it hasn't been a problem.
That is a very mature relationship, and cheers to Kevin, though, on his soberversary and the equinox and Father's Day, and cheers to you too for celebrating it, and so I'm happy I get to celebrate as well.
Yay.
There are some great non-alcoholic for options these days between Clearly
Mhm.
Canadian, Olipop, and the various other things. It's a good time to be, I feel like a good time to enjoy a non-alcoholic beverage every once in a while. And Clearly Canadian, today was also a pretty big race day. Should we go into some of these races? So,
Sure.
Ironman 70.3 Mont Tremblant was today, and which
Mhm.
did have a pro race. Coeur d'Alene 70.3 was today, which did not have a pro race. Elsinore 70.3 was today. In Denmark, which was a pro series race. There was a lot happening. And then I think you raced this weekend, right?
I did. I raced yesterday.
What did you do?
So I did a local grassroots sprint triathlon, the Sunset Lake Sprint Tri, and man, it was like a good kick in the butt for me to like hunker down and train more for nationals, which is in 7 weeks. So I did fairly well, but like last year I won the race by 7 minutes, and then yesterday I got second overall female, but I got beat by 9 minutes.
Where was the 9 minutes? Was it on the swim?
Okay, I wrote it down. No, she was actually really so I don't think I've raced this woman before. Her name's Dana. I think she's only a year or two younger than me, but she would like beat me across the board, like both all three sports. But I was like looking at my swim time and it's only a 400-yard swim. I swam 3 minutes slower than last year. So I know
Jocelyn!
and I haven't been swimming, and I know I haven't been swimming, so it's all on me. So I know I'm capable of swimming faster. I'm capable. But last year I was like 3rd out of the water, which was like never happens. And this year I was like 20th out of the water. So I was like, yeah, it's time. It's time to get back in the water.
Maybe this is what you needed. I did see you
Yeah,
post
yeah,
recently. We talked last time about maybe when you go to the pool, you need to treat yourself after.
yes,
I like a good latte after swimming. And you did. It looked like you got Rita's,
yes.
like shaved ice. Am I saying that right? Or
Rita.
like
So it's called water ice, but if you're from
water ice.
Philly, they pronounce it water ice.
Okay.
So, yeah, I went to the pool with Ainsley and I was like, "Haley said, treat yourself." So, we got
Could this
some
become a more frequent thing that might encourage you to go to the pool more often?
so, another reason I'm not having alcohol tonight is because 'cause I'm actually gonna try to swim in the morning
Okay.
because Kevin is off work tomorrow, and I think I told you before, I have trouble swimming weekdays because he actually leaves the house at 6 a.m. usually to get to
Mhm.
work. And so there's no way I can, like, go to the pool, swim, and be back by 6, and then daycare doesn't open till 7:15, and then I have to be at work by 8:30, and it's just, like, there's just no time without, like maybe I can swim for 500 yards, but then the time I'm showering and getting ready is gonna be more
Yeah.
time than I'm actually in the water. So, I'm gonna go for it, and then our outdoor pool that's across the street from my office is open for the summer, so I was able to sneak in a lunchtime swim, like, a couple weeks ago. I just need to make it, like, a regular thing.
That's hard. It is very hard. Pool hours make things really hard, and if you do have that schedule where you can't get that morning swim time in,
Mhm.
it's really tough. That is really tough, and the lunch swim can be hard too because, like you mentioned, that they still have the, like, getting in the pool part, like, getting your cap on, getting your goggles
Yes.
on, like, even if your swim is only, less than an hour, you have all those other things that take the same amount of time regardless of how
Yeah.
f long your swim is, so I feel you on that. I do feel you on that, but this is interesting with just you comparing yourself to yourself last year and
Yeah.
recognizing that maybe there's, like, a little bit of improvement here, but you have 7 weeks, and maybe that is, "Okay, this isn't forever, but it is just for the next 7 weeks, we try to swim a little bit more," and maybe that does mean you're swimming, like, Saturday and Sunday, which is rough, or, we're trying to figure out somehow one more swim during the week.
I'll figure it out, but yeah, I mean, honestly, though, going into the race yesterday, I was like, "I really need a good ass kicking," because I feel like I can get by, like, obviously, like, I raced with my friend Kathy, who's like, you're kinda blessed genetically because you haven't done much and you can still get 2nd overall, and so, yeah, like, I don't take that for granted, but it's like it's a blessing and a curse because you're like, "I can, like, not do much and still do okay. I can still do pretty good," but
And
it's
I would
like
say there's some genetics, but there was also, like, a many years of very
right.
hard work.
It's like decades of a
Yeah,
lot of exercise and discipline but also I think the racing mindset, like, when the gun goes off, I just, like, know how to strategize and, like, push myself and go harder than I normally would.
right, and that's not something that luckily goes away just
Mhm.
because you aren't doing that every single day, and so I think that's actually kind of a nice thing that it doesn't I mean, I'm, like, banking on that a lot in life right now,
Yeah.
but it is kinda more fun if you can train a little bit more. We don't need to be as
Right.
good as, like, best ever, but there
Yeah.
are certain pieces that where you're like, "I don't wanna make this harder on myself." But overall, did you have fun at the race?
Yeah, I did have a lot of fun. Um, it is also I like to support the smaller grassroots events, but then it can be where you're like, yeah, there's a reason you pay the big bucks for something like super organized. Cause I know that run course, it wasn't well marked and it was like I was alone for a good chunk of it where I didn't see anyone and you're like, am I going the right way?
Oh, I have a story
So
about that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you can't even, like, push yourself to go harder because 'cause you're, like, making sure you're, like, going the right way. So that was a little
Yes.
tricky too.
Yes, because I did something similar. I went to a brew run. I think this so, the last episode that aired,
Mhm.
with Erin Trail with her gear reviews, which thank you, Erin, for coming on. I that ha had an impactful impact on me because I have since bought a running vest, but going back, so context of that day, I'm losing my mind a little bit. So I ran that day before podcasting, we were a little late because I had actually run, like, 30 miles that that day.
Wait.
I also started my 30-mile run at noon, as you do. I am just doing whatever these days. So, sometime after noon, I decided to go out and run 30 miles. I didn't decide to I decided to run 30 miles. I think I got to, like, 21 or something like that, and I was like, I think I could get to 30 because it wasn't that hot. I had enough water and fluids, and I was like, and there was no one out, and like, I knew the timing would be really tight with when I was scheduled to talk to Erin. I was scheduled to talk to Erin at 6 o'clock, and I texted her at like 4:30, and I was like, "Could we push it back a little bit later? Because I might be a little late." Because I wasn't sure how fast I could run from that point that I was back home, and I ended up walking the door at like 5:57. So I was like, "Okay, this
Oh
is
my
good. I can make stride."
god.
This is how I live these days. So I get back home after running 30 miles just on a whim. And during that run, I fell. I fell during that run. And
Oh.
that was another reason I tripped over a root and I like Supermaned out. And I was like, shoot, I got to do this run because I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. And so I was like, I better make this one worth it. And so I ran 30 miles, and then the next Monday I was quite sore from that fall. So I ran 0 miles Monday, 0 miles Tuesday. I think I might have tried to go to the gym, but like I couldn't. I was in a lot of pain, and honestly, it's been 2 weeks and I'm still in a little bit of pain, which we'll see what's happening with that. But anyway, then on Wednesday, I went with my athlete, Taylor. She's like, "Do you want to do the brew run?" I was like, "I'm kind of hurting. I haven't run since Sunday." And so I don't know. And the weather was bad. It was raining. And then I was like, whatever. I'll just go. I can run a 5K. I'll just jog easy. And so I go to this 5K, and the weather was so bad. I like jog over to it because I was like, I haven't jogged a step since I ran 30 miles. And then I'm like jogging. I was like, oh, I feel okay. Like, I think I can run 5K, easy. And a lot of it was my upper body is what hurt in the fall. Like, I think I might have injured my ribs a little bit. So it's like more upper body pain. And at first I thought it was my shoulder, but now I don't. And so anyway, I'm running, jogging over there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go easy. I'm gonna go easy. And like there weren't that many people there because the weather was so bad. And so
Okay.
it wasn't that hard to like get to the front. And then all of a sudden, like I thought I was in the back, but I didn't realize like which side of the thing were because this is a pretty casual events. And they're just like
Yeah.
at a brewery. And so I'm going, and all of a sudden I'm like going, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going very hard. And I'm like, I could pass that person. I could pass that person. And I just can't help it, Jocelyn. I just start passing people, and I'm just wearing regular clothes. I'm wearing a shirt. Like I almost wore long sleeves because it was cold. I took those off right before. I'm running with a phone. Like this is not how I normally
Yeah.
race. And
Yeah.
I swear I was not going to go that far. But also, this is the other thing I learned, like 5K is a lot farther than you think. And I'm just like going, and I get like a mile in, and I start feeling good. And then I start passing other people, and like, but then we are in this like headwind. I'm like sitting behind someone. It was actually kind of fun, but it was like, this was much further than I expected to go. I also don't know the course at all. And so at one point, we're like maybe 2 miles in, and I decide like, I'm feeling good. We're going to go up a slight uphill, and I decide to pass this guy. And at that point, there was a group of men ahead, but I couldn't see them. And I passed this man, and I'm like, "Oh, no." And so, like, we're going back, and we're going, like, into oncoming traffic, and I'm like, "Am I going the right way?" Like, it was like I had to ask the guy behind
Yeah.
me. I'm like, "Am I
Yeah.
going the right way?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is how it is." Because I'm like, "Really?" We're, like, going into, like, this traffic, all that things. So we're going, and, like, certain places I could see people ahead, and so I was like,
Okay.
"Okay, I know where I am. I kind of know." And again, I'm, like, in Bozeman. Like, I know where I live. I know where the brewery is, but I just, like, hadn't in my brain thought of, like, knowing a course. And so it's this
Yeah.
certain point we go by this bakery that's like, and I was like, I'm so surprised this brewery is this far past this bakery. And I could see this guy in a red shirt up ahead, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna keep going. And then the guy behind me is like, I think we're supposed to turn back there. And I was like,
No.
so like the guy in the red shirt up ahead was like a random runner. Like just a guy out
No.
running.
Random person.
Was just like a random runner, a random guy out going for a run. And so then we had to like do an extra block. Anyway, we ran a 4-mile 5K. I definitely didn't win. Luckily, the guy behind me who I'd led off course had great attitude about it. Like wasn't that sad. It's a casual event. It's like kind of untimed, all that. Like I didn't wear a watch, so I had no idea. But
Okay.
I was like, this feels like the longest 5K of my life, but it was 4 miles. Anyway, so that was like, again, a good lesson in just knowing the course and like managing your effort. And that's honestly the hardest I've run since Disney. I think the
Oh,
Disney races
wow.
in January. I haven't really run hard since then. I don't know what got into me. And, I also had to run 30 miles and then 0, 0 and then ran hard 4 miler. But it was once I found out I was off course, I was like, "Eh, whatever." When we were coming back, I was jogging easy. But where that did cause an impact on me is that in that course of that event, I was like, "Why would I make this harder on myself?" Even though it is a small event, it was it was like, "Why did I do that? Like, why did I make this?" Okay, and so because I have this 38K trail race coming up,
Yeah.
now I wanted to go into this 38K low maintenance. I wanted no new gear. I wanted to just go do it and
Okay.
not care. I
Okay.
have learned I am a high maintenance human who just can't help but care, and so I
You
need to
wanna be
protect me from
prepared.
myself. Yes. And so that is why I am now the proud owner of a running vest.
It's a new vest.
I have a
Ooh.
new vest.
So you got a
Um,
Solomon?
it is a Solomon vest. So this was actually my parents helped me out like with
Okay.
the purchase. They went to REI and talked to just people who know vests because honestly, online there were too many options. And even
Yeah.
Erin was trying on an Osprey vest, and I was like, I wanted to hear her input, and I did trade some messages. She had some critiques of it. And so it does seem like what you want in a vest, if it's almost like shoes. Like there's too many
It
options, and
depends
it's yes,
what
it
you
very
want
much
and what you
depends.
like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I almost was at the point where I'm like, "Do I need 3 vests?" Like, again, I want it to be low maintenance and have less gear. But I was very skeptical of this, and REI has a very, like, nice return policy. So I
Okay.
was like, "I will try it out."
Does it come in
And
other colors, though? It's
I know,
black.
isn't it black? Black is wild. I never would have bought this is how you can tell I did not make this
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
only thing is with trail stuff, I feel like, right now I
Mhm.
wanna go into this race a little incognito, right?
Okay.
Like, I wanna go in a little under the radar. That's one reason I didn't even want a vest. I wanna be like, "She doesn't care. She's just gonna be in the back. Just let her go live her life." Because and it has, like, the soft flasks that Aaron talked about,
What
and
did you think of the soft flash?
I really liked them more than I thought, and I did even
Okay.
actually wash them last night because I wore this 2 days in a row. I wore it the first day, it was very rainy. I was very
Mhm.
worried about chafing because I ran it just a sports bra. I put my shirt, like, in the back because sometimes I like to run 2 places. So, like, I go for a run and then I try to run some
Oh,
errands. I've done this.
okay.
I've gone to the liquor store, I've gone to the bar. Yesterday I went to pizza. So, like, because while I'm out running, a lot of the time I'm, like, thinking about, like, "Oh, what do I wanna eat or drink?" And so I, like, don't wanna go home. So I put a
Yeah,
shirt back
yeah.
there, but I did run in just a sports bra, and I had no chafing even in the rain. I was a little worried
That's
about being
awesome.
too hot, and obviously yesterday was quite cold, but then today was warmer. I ran with it. I don't think I was it's a little bit warmer, but I don't think it was too terribly hot, so
Okay.
I was again, I was very hesitant on whether this was necessary, just like I'm fine carrying a bottle. I don't mind that. But now
Mhm.
I did that poll online and everyone was like, get a vest, get a vest. And
Yeah.
so I think it was so overwhelmingly like get a vest that I'm like, okay, I gotta try it. And now I like it. So I do see where you could end up with like 4 different vests, again, for different
I do
circumstances and
have
different
multiple hydration packs and vests. Because I used to race with Camelbacks, um, what, 2008, 2009? So,
yeah.
even before, like, vests became more popular, I would have, like, the Camelback cycling ones, and then I would modify them myself to, like, reduce the bouncing, and I was like, "This really needs a chest strap," because it was just, like, the backpack shoulder straps.
Mhm.
And so I would modify my own, and then they started actually coming out with ultra running vests, so I was like, "Oh, see, I wasn't just a dork running with a Camelback."
Now
And now
you are
they're
a
everywhere.
trendsetter.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
they're
OG.
everywhere. Like, no
Everywhere.
one even looked at me odd, and, like, twice I have run
Yeah.
straight to a restaurant, and so no one looked at me odd.
Yeah, they look
Um,
way cooler now because now the straps have, like, the pockets and so many pockets, it's great, but you are
okay,
right, I heard
the
your
pockets are crazy. Like, I was
yeah.
like, "Wait a second," like, I was able to put my phone in the back, and then
Huh?
I was able to just put, like, snacks in these ones, and I was very shocked. I'm like, "I probably should have done this earlier."
It's really amazing, yeah, because you can put in your, like, keys, your phone, um, but cleaning the bladder is really annoying.
Yes, I don't have the whole there's a spot for the bladder, and I think I would like to use it sometimes for longer training runs because I do
Yeah,
see like, I run out of water, like, I do, and now with
yeah,
this one, I'm like, I think I could just shove a water bottle or another extra flask back there, but I do see the value in having, a bladder at certain times, and maybe I'm careful, but
yeah.
also, my problem is, like, some of my long runs are a little unplanned, so I gotta plan to have that thing clean, which is a big ask for me these
But
days.
yeah, like I would have multiple bladders and multiple
Okay,
packs
that's
because
a good yeah.
like in the Ironman, I would have one at special needs aid station so that it would last halfway and then I would swap them out.
Mm.
But
Didn't you
it's
put
like
coffee in it? Did you put coffee?
I would do like the bottled Starbucks Frappuccino diluted with ice and Noon tablets that were the cola flavor, because those also had caffeine, so it was like Noon with
You were so
Starbucks
ahead of the
Frappuccino.
times, though. Like, these are the times when, like I mean, people don't realize how good we have it with nutrition products now and how many options there are, and you
Yeah.
were so ahead of the times. Do you feel like it helped you? Did you just skip the aid stations?
Yeah, oh, no, I never stopped. So I wouldn't need to stop at the aid station other than to, like, dump water and ice on myself, but I had tried different things to drink, and so my innovative side, I was like, "Well, what would I want to drink that I'm not gonna get sick of?" And so I couldn't just drink Gatorade because 'cause you're already, like, sick of all that, and yeah, that was having iced coffee
And you
was
had some good results. I always think about Louisville. You passed me. But I do think did you ever get any criticism for that?
I don't think so. Mm, I would say I got criticism more for how bad I swam, like, if I went on slow twitch or anything. But no, because I would do well at the really hot, crazy races like Malaysia and China and Louisville, and
Oh,
so it would be kind of nuts because it's like if it was, like, over 100 degrees, like, I would get a top 3 run split, passing by
yeah.
people that were on paper should have, like, been way faster at me on the run, but I could run
Yeah.
really pretty quickly because I was, like, staying hydrated.
Okay. This is I mean, again, it doesn't really matter how you look as long as if you're like doing really well, you look really cool.
Mhm.
So that's like especially in the hot races. So anyway, thank you to everyone who did reach out and thank you to Erin for the recommendations. I am, several years late on the running vest, but I am now realizing it is worth it. I also went ahead and I did order some trail running shoes. So I just
What did you
decided to go
get?
all in. I got some Nikes. So they haven't arrived yet.
Okay.
The local running store had them in stock in orange and I was just like, I can't do orange. Again, normal me would love
Oh.
neon orange
But
shoes, right?
you're
Like
trying to go under the radar.
I'm just at a weird spot in life right now. My confidence is not there for the neon. And
Okay.
so I had to order a pair that's in like slightly more muted colors. So
That's
I just
wild,
am like,
Haley. Who are
what? I
you?
know. Who am I? What is wrong with me? I'm like, I need some help. I need some help and maybe eventually, but yeah, that was all they had in stock. I was like, I can't buy orange ones. I'm like, again, I'm not there right now. Even though
It's okay.
I wore neon spandex all over the world and now I can't go to my local trail. We'll see how this goes. I kind of want to be able to have this race where like if I don't like it, no one remembers that I was ever there. I can just, like, disappear
Except
into the
our
treadmill
100
life.
podcast listeners.
Yes. Do you think there are 100? But, yes, our podcast listeners get the special news that I am doing a race. But, we'll see how it goes. I got 2 weeks, and hopefully the shoes come and they fit, hopefully, because I don't know if I have time to get a different size. But I used to race in Nikes, so the Nike
Okay.
Alpha Flies, so I was like I mean, I just got the same size and we'll just cross our fingers and see that they work. But like the trail shoes again, there's so many different options and I just
Yeah.
felt like this was a good like first try. These are slightly non-technical or I'm told fairly non-technical trails, so not
Okay.
super rocky because I think that if they're like more rocky as Aaron was showing us like you need different features on your shoes. So I think this
Yeah.
from what I was reading, I think these will hopefully handle. They'll have some more traction, but also feel like the road shoes, which I'm used to. But have fancy foam and whatnot that my old bones need. So, um, that again, running that 4 mile 5K, I was like, I wish I had some super shoes on right I'm not at the point where I'm rolling up to the brew run in my old Alpha Flies, but, I'm not that far off because again, why make it harder on yourself? What do you wear? What do you wear when you do, like, a local sprint? Do you wear, like, carbon racing
Oh,
shoes?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do. I have the Hoka, Cielo X2 3.0. No,
Okay.
it's called the X1 3.0. Their naming system is really stupid. Um, these they're so expensive. Why are the ones that feel best on my feet the most expensive shoes? This is so ridiculous. But also, hey, we never got I mean, when I was racing back in the day, we didn't have super shoes yet. And as we get older, I'm just like, what I'm taking whatever I can get. Like,
Yeah.
give me all the freebies.
I'm right there with you. That is a wild thought that you never got to race in the super shoes and you did so many Ironmans. You would do 8, like, in a summer and, like, all in regular shoes.
I know. They were and we were sponsored by Avia, so we had to run in Avia shoes.
How were those?
So I didn't run in the race flats because the
Okay.
race flats were, they were, like, not supportive enough at all, and so I was in more like the stability shoe, which had decent cushioning, but it was a training shoe, it wasn't a racing shoe, and the saving grace was, like, we got as many pairs as we wanted, so it was like you could get a new pair that was a little bouncier for race day.
It is sometimes I'm amazed when I look at some of the times that I did
Mhm.
pre-carbon shoes and like, I'm like, "Wow, maybe I was actually kinda good." I'm like, I
Yeah.
ran that split, like, in regular shoes. I think there is definitely a difference. There is such a difference, but we can look back and be very, very impressed with ourselves, but still impressed with the athletes today. We had some fast racing today, and congratulations to everyone who did race and finish. It's fun seeing this season in full swing, and but it's also fun hearing about your season. And then eventually, maybe in a couple weeks, I will have read Mary Cain's book, and I will have run a race. I'm really hoping things come together in the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. They will. So I also missed so my high school coach got honored yesterday after, like, 49 years of coaching, and he
High
still
school running
coaches.
coach? What
Yeah,
sport? Okay.
track and cross country. It was DiMaggio Day was declared by, like, the city, and the track
Wait, this
stadium
is in California?
this
Like
is
the
in Daly City, California. So if anyone ever, like, ran, like, cross country in the San Francisco Bay Area, we would have, the RAM Invitational was our cross country invitational every September, and a lot of schools would come and race that. But when I was in high school, so back in the 1900s, I was class of '99,
so
we had a
cool.
we had a dirt track.
Okay.
So we had a dirt track where we trained on and, like, competed on a dirt track with, like, the longer spikes for our track spikes. And then at some point, they got this beautiful all-weather rubber track, and, um, yeah, they decided that they were gonna name the track after Coach DiMaggio. So, I didn't get to go home for it, but yeah, my brother and sister went because we all did
Oh.
track together. And actually, my mom has been running the snack bar at the Ram Cross Country Invitational for, like, years. Like,
Even after you all
long
graduated?
after we've all graduated. Like, my
Wow.
brother, I think, was class of 2002, but yeah, she's been in charge of the snack bar for, I don't know, like 20 plus years now. And so, of course, she went, but yeah, I heard there were a lot of people from high school that went, and yeah, he really, I feel like he helped shape who I am today. It's, like, amazing to have somebody that, introduces you to a sport, and I don't know, I'm now a lifelong athlete, and a lot of the stuff you learn as a kid in whatever sport you grow up doing, I feel like it does shape you, you know?
I agree, and I think as someone who does still do some coaching, it's really heartening to hear that because it it can feel like, "What am I doing? What is my purpose in life?" Well, maybe it just feels that way for me, and then you hear about this, like, coaches can have such an impact, and I know I don't coach high schoolers, but I do think that there is something to that on coaches, teachers, just those people in your lives, but even your prosthetist, orthotist, I do think that can be someone who really impacts your life, and it is fun as we again, as in case anyone else out there is searching for their purpose in life, to remind ourselves that maybe we are having that impact. And it's great to see someone honored like that so many years later, but very cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad you got to I'm glad your siblings got to go and tell you about it and you got to kind of reflect on that.
Yeah, I still go and visit, like, when, like, Ainsley's met him. So he's
Oh,
kind of like, he also had 3 kids around the same age as, like, me and my siblings. He's kind of like he was always kinda like a second dad, which we always, like, said at the end of the year banquet, but he's gotta be around the same age as my parents.
okay.
But, yeah, I just have, like, so many fond memories of, like, being this, like, newbie runner as a freshman, and we would train on the sand dunes because,
Wow.
like, where my high school was really close to it's just south of San Francisco, so we would run to the beach, and we would do this hill workout where we would run up and down the sand dunes. And my first year I only did cross country all 4 years because my sister was a year older than me, and I just wanted to do whatever she did. So she started cross country her sophomore year, and I was just tagging along. But one of those summer practices before high school even started was, like, we called them the sand hills, and I think I did, like, 3 or 4 of them, and then I was like to my sister, I was like, "I think I need to throw up," and she was just mortified because she was my sister, and she's like, "Can't you just hold it in?" And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna make it," and I, like, threw up, and she was just so embarrassed. It's like, she didn't care if I was embarrassed or she was embarrassed.
Have you
But
ever
yeah.
gone back and run the sand dunes as an adult or now?
So it's crazy because there's, like, erosion and stuff, so I
Oh, so,
would
like,
go back, like,
protected.
yeah, in, like, the following years. So this was back in the '90s, yeah, like, 1995 to 1999, I was in high school, but over the years, they started, like, blocking it off, so it's a place, called Fort Funston. Then yeah, so they're not as we're not allowed to, like, run there anymore. They're like so it's just part of the epic, legendary status of what we used to do back in high school.
Yes, I just sometimes there's, like, that when you get to, like, run a hill that you ran in high school or something like that, that felt so
Yeah.
big. But sometimes I've had this experience where, like, I get to do that and I'm like, "This was a big hill. Dang, I was impressive in high school." Or you have something where you're like, "Oh my goodness, like, I used to think this was, like, so hard, and now I'm like, eh, whatever, no big deal." So, some of the running stuff now, I feel like swimming stuff, definitely more impressive in high school. Running stuff, I think I am slightly more impressive now. I definitely did not go for casual, like, 30-mile runs in high school, and now I do, but again, that's I don't know if that's a good thing.
You have more stuff you have to process now.
Yes, exactly. But I didn't do that this weekend. The other thing I did do last weekend, though, I did volunteer at the Bozeman Tri, and that was a good experience, just being at a local tri, and you go to quite a few, and this
Are
is
you a
kind of our
celebrity there? Like, do you get
no,
recognized?
no one knows who I
What?
am at all. No.
What?
And I did wear some neon. I wore like a neon onesie, and I feel like,
Yeah.
and I no one cares.
Because nobody knows
Jocelyn,
you're Haley Chura of Bozeman, Montana.
I feel like the way you get forgotten in life and in everything sport is like it happens so fast, man. It happens so fast. But I did get to I was a backup timer at the finish line and people are just so proud of themselves coming across the
Mhm,
finish line, and that is really fun to see, to witness, and to be on the other side of that. I think it's just really really cool to see people who have tackled this big challenge and have probably been training for months or maybe aren't quite as trained, and they're really trying really really hard
mhm.
to do it, and they cross that finish line and they get to be a triathlon finisher, and they're so proud and so happy, and I think I really appreciate that perspective. Like I don't know if I have it in me right now to do a triathlon, but I definitely appreciate the community and the way it can make you feel. So I think it was a really good experience, plus a beautiful day. It was super nice out, and um, it's just fun to see a lot of people doing their first triathlons, and
Yeah, that's special.
um, it's really cool. It was very very cool. So I'm glad I got that experience as well. In appreciating some of the other parts of the sport these days. So do you have any races coming up in between now and nationals?
So, initially, I was gonna be doing the Philadelphia women's try, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna be deferring because someone really close to me had a near-death experience, and now he's doing much, much better to the point where he's gonna have this big celebration. It's the weekend after 4th of July, so there's gonna be fireworks and everything, but it's 2 hours away in, like, the Poconos Mountains. I was like, "It's fine, I don't have to race. I just have to, like, grind and train my butt off for 7 weeks and go enjoy this." So, yeah, so we're gonna do that, make a weekend out of it, not worry about triathlon for that weekend, maybe do a little training.
Great, and congratulations to your friend on,
Yeah.
surviving that near-death experience. I did wanna close with another shout out to, one of our listeners, Colleen, who she had a little bit of a medical incident in the last week, and I just wanted to say that we're really thinking about her. I think she's coming home soon, and so
Okay.
I am excited about that, and hopefully we'll have some rehab walks in her future that I can join for. If I'm not joining, she can listen to us chat about it on the podcast. But another good supporter of me and
Mhm.
occasional listener of the show, and just wanted to say we're thinking about her. So, this is actually turning into kind of a good news show.
That's
Despite
good, there needs to be more positivity in the world.
Yes, I have one last thing I want to say, Jocelyn, today. This is like another thing. Maybe this is a good sign for me too. I was running and I did not quite have as much time to run today as I thought I would. And so I put on my coaching hat instead of my lose my mind hat. And I decided I would actually do a few intervals. And I think I did 6 by I don't know if it was a minute and a half-ish
Mhm.
to 2 minutes. I don't know. I wasn't good. Me and a watch these days. Very tenuous relationship, but I did hill repeats just on my own running just because for no
Mhm.
reason. I was just like, I want to see if I can. And it actually felt really good. Like it felt really good. And I was like,
Awesome.
I know. So maybe it's taken me a lot of months of just all aerobic training, but maybe there is still something in me. I don't know. I don't know. We're working on this. Thank you for being along for the roller coaster journey, but I just maybe there was a little bit of a spark in there today.
It feels good to do hard stuff. It does.
I know. Maybe I need to try a sprint try. I mean, I've done some sprint tries, not recently, but maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe next year's Bozeman try. Actually, I did find out the timer I was working with, he was like, he
Mhm.
asked me, he's like, "Did you do the swim as a relay?" And I was like, "No, but you know what? I could." Because I could do the swim as a relay and then still make it to the finish line for my backup timer duties
Oh, totally.
if I had the same job next year. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, maybe that would be a fun reentry." So I have some ideas.
Okay.
I'm starting to feel better. This wasn't the point of this podcast, but thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you for getting on the phone. Thank you for catching me up. It has been so nice chatting with you, and I am going to, it is still light out. It is a solstice. I'm going to go do some things, but I am going to read Mary Cade's book
Yeah, we
by next
cannot
week.
meet back up to podcast until you're done, so you better read it.
Next week,
Okay.
next week, we gotta get it done before you get really busy with the 4th and celebrating lives and all that. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be a good episode. Thank you for our listeners on their patience on that. I am getting back into reading mode, so thank you for your patience. Jocelyn, have a excellent evening and excellent week, and I might chat with you again next week.
Alright. Have a good one.